Oh, wow. We say hello to Neeks before we say hello to Jane. I see how it is. Not that I mind. Not that I mind. Neeks is absolutely lovely and deserves all of the hellos and the heys. Hi, Neeks. See, Neeks cares about me. No, can I be honest? I think it's really cute the way y'all interact a lot of times. The fact that y'all get all happy and excited to see each other and greet each other like long-lost friends when somebody hasn't been here for a little bit. And you know what my favorite thing is? I see so many of you. When there's a new person coming in, y'all are like, hey, welcome. Especially like when I'm in the middle of a game. Y'all make people feel welcome here. And I appreciate that. Seriously. I mean, it makes the space more comfortable and it just breeds, you know, more positivity here. Makes it a lot easier to deal with the few toxic people, you know. Okay. First off, wait a second. Echo, thank you for the sub. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. At tier 1, they've been subscribed for 5 months. For 5 months, that's crazy. Sophie, glasses are great. You should get glasses. They'll look really cute on you. And you can get different kinds of glasses at different styles. They're fantastic. I like glasses. They're gonna be great, Sophie. Trust me. And if you don't like them, try contacts. Or you can get laser eye surgery. That works too. Best way to spend my time washing dishes? I feel that. But I watch anime when I do my dishes. Okay, so I'm all over the place right now. Let me do my thing. Let me do my little thing here. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, we got a lot of followers while I was offline. Sick. We might see some new people coming by soon. All right, Gibbets, thank you for getting first. Addie, thank you for getting second. Addie, you're not... No, thank you for getting third. How dare you? Yeah, chat is very big and greedy. Addie getting third and second. Big greedy, big greedy. Thank you, Draco, for checking in. Thank you, Addie, for checking in. Thank you, Crucify, for checking in. And thank you, Ace, and Echo, and Honeydew, and Dwarf, and Brookie, and Naptime, and Carmia. And Hado, hey, Kenny. Thank you for the check-in. And Neeks, thank you for checking in. Aiko, thank you for checking in. Silver Vang Rose, thank you. Sophie, thank you. Vanya, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I Blossom VT, thank you. We have a lot of mods in today. You know, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. Because I will probably end up doing the, I'm such a good doggy. I'll probably end up doing the, words. What am I gonna be doing, chat? Multi-stream. I didn't say you need to leave. I'm just saying we have a lot of mods. It's a good thing, Vanya, not a bad thing. I'm gonna be doing the, multi-stream at some point. So it'll be good. But yes, how's everybody doing today? Vanya, I saw a raccoon today and it made me think of you. No fire. No fire. Hi, Lynx. You're sick? Oh, I hope you feel better soon. Take care of yourself, okay? We're doing good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Hygiene stopping by. No fire. Oh, you woke up pretty late. Why'd you wake up so late? What's going on? Then again, I don't know your time zone. This could be the ideal time to wake up, actually. I'm gonna assume you're only doing the best. Very sleepies. I'll get some sleeps. If you need sleeps, get some sleeps. You're working on the voidlings? Right. God, I forgot. I need to start calling y'all voidlings all the time. My little voidlings. Chat, if I don't call you voidlings, you're legally allowed to beat me up a little bit. Okay? You can come and punch me in the face a little bit. You'll just have to find me first. Ow. A little bit. Too much and I can't stream. You have to ask Aiko. If Aiko's okay showing off the current Voidling art, then I will show it. But you need to convince Aiko. No, only hunt me when I don't call you Voidlings, my little Voidlings. Yeah, Vo. V-O, Aiko. They go by Aiko. They specifically asked me to call them Aiko. Or O. So what do you think? What do you think? Are we should we share it, Aiko? Or hi? Hi Akba, how you doing? Or should we keep it hidden? This is all up to you. I can show the most recent one you sent. My day's going good. I know. Feel like they have to convince you. Only show the most recent one? And that is the one with the 2 colorations, right? Where you have like the cool text and everything? Okay, but you'll get it for a little bit. Only a little bit, okay, chat? Alright, give me a second. I don't want to know why your tongue hurts. Alright. You ready? Let's see. Because I can't imagine a tongue hurting for a good reason. Oh, wait. Why aren't you working right now, computer? Oh, because I saved it to OneDrive. I don't even use OneDrive. Do I have OneDrive? Crazy. Okay. All right, 1 second. Okay, here we go, chat.
My tongue hurts because of hot pizza rolls, you perv. And I can think of a very good reason a tongue would hurt, perv.
Can't believe you're calling me a perv. I have seen this chat. Okay, you ready? Are you ready? You ready? You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2. It's too big. There you go. That's all you get to see. No, I'm kidding. You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready? Here. I got you. Okay. 3, 2. There they are. This is the most recent iteration of the Voidlings. Aren't they adorable? Aren't they adorable? Look at them. Look at them. That's the representation of chat. And they're going to have different animal forms. This is just the base edition. Aiko's currently drawing their Sona. And I think we may, go ahead at some point and post it to the Discord so everybody can draw their own version of it. That way, when we do a big reveal for everybody, we'll be, we can post all of the different versions. I also want to send it to some artists and, commission some people and get some versions drawn for different streamers. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be cool, I think, hopefully. Wait, Addy, you still there? There we go. Ooh. Whoa. Gone. Right. But we're not doing it yet. Not yet. We're going to wait until we get closer to hitting the 50 average. We still got to get there. I know it's a bit far away, but we'll get there. It's just that last hill we got to hit. Hitting that 50 average, and then I can start committing to some of this. I mean, I'm already trying to look at an artist. I mean, the options right now are either take out a loan for $8,000 or get a live 2D for half the price and then spend $8,000 later on when I want to do the fully 3D. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty It's gonna be so hard. It's gonna be difficult. We'll see. But I believe in it. By the way, do I sound okay? I'm still doing the whole distance from the microphone thing, and it makes me want to like lean forward. That way I can talk to you better. No, and staying around for 20 minutes at the beginning of the stream is fine. I mean, like, I have talked about this before. If you have other stuff to do, or like maybe the stream just isn't for you that day, feel free to do other stuff. Like, the only way I know to be a better streamer and to learn from being a streamer is, you know, see what numbers. Yay! Good job! Yay! I'm so glad, Ocean. Ocean, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. No, and that's totally fine. I mean, like, maybe I need to start doing jingly keys. Here, I'm actually making this right now. Don't worry about what that is. Why am I making it? No, don't matter. But Ocean, congrats. I'm very glad everything went well. Please rest up, and we'll be here when you're done resting. Okay, so plans. Still working on the cover for I'm glad. I am still working on that cover for what? Phantom of the Opera. That's right. Still working on the cover for Phantom of the Opera. I'm still struggling to hit those notes. Once we hit that one, it'll be fine, and then everything will be great, and then I can move on to the next cover. But it is so hard to learn how to hit those notes properly in that style as well. But we're working on it, and I have a bit of time before I actually need to be done, because the person I'm doing it with is currently busy, and they're going to be in a rock band for a show, and they have homework and they're auditioning for something else. So, yeah. Chaz, the problem with knowing super talented people is that they're always busy. But I'm this close. Like, it's in my range. It's just being able to hit the note like comfortably. I can hit the note, but it sounds strained. I'm sorry, Miss Flies a plane all the time. Well, yeah. I'm also super talented people. Am I not super? Okay, I guess I'm not super talented people. That's fine. That's fine. I thought I fell into super, but part of me was like, but you're also busy. Wow. You know, chat, I was gonna make a whole bit about being confident, but you know what? I'm not confident. Carmilla ruins my confidence all the time. I'm really good at fishing. You're busy because talented? No, I believe it. I know it's easier said than done, but then do things. Because I did the exact same thing, Crucified, and it is more of a thing of like having to force yourself initially until you get into a habit. That is what it was for me, at least, is that the reason why I have this schedule and I never deviate from it is, honestly, if I stop the schedule, I might not be able to continue going. Yay! Okay, good. I'm glad I kept you distracted the entire time. I know, habits are crazy. But the one time I was getting like really fit, I mean, not that I'm in bad shape now, well, I'm not in good shape. But I need to get like regularly working out again. Because anyways. Like the first time I got like really healthy, I was working out every single day. Every single day I was working out. And then the one day I went to the gym and the gym was closed, completely threw out my schedule. And then I quit working out regularly. But if you get in a habit, it's great. It makes everything so much easier to keep going. Also, by the way, I'm going to be throwing myself out to the wolves because a lot of big streamers are going to TwitchCon, and I'm going to try to take all of their viewers. Oh, is Twitch having issues? Are we good? Anybody else having Twitch issues? Exactly. We're going to go rob all of the viewers. So remember, do you think people will get mad if we go into streams and go, put the viewers in the bag when we raid? How about we instead ask for attention? We'll steal their attention. That's what we'll do. Spiritually support. There we go. Perfect. Just put the attention in the bag. And then we steal their attention. Hello, Neon. How you doing? I need to stop keeping snacks on my desk, chat, because every time they demand uppies. You see, I have a gun, and if you do not give me uppies, I will fire. See if it works. I'm sure it'll be fine. You're tired? Go sleep. Eep. Sleep. Do your eeps. No, don't grab your hands at me. Hello, we are here to pass out free t-shirts. Just come here. Here's a shirt. Take this one. No, it's not gonna. Man, I ate a bag of shredded cheese for dinner. Hey, thank you for the follow. Well, let's see if you won. No winner this time. Lynx, did you feel bad or sick before or after the bag of cheese? Be honest. You can tell me. Okay. Can I suggest not eating a bag of cheese when you're not feeling good? Was it a tummy problem or a different problem? Enjoy it. Oh, a sinus. Oh, sinus infection. Okay. Step 1. Sinus meds. Can you get sinus meds? Step 2. Do you have a neti pot? If no, hot sauce on the tongue can help drain sinuses. Just an idea. Also, hello, Yuki. We have a lot of Yukis. I love the name Yuki. It is so cool and fun to say. Welcome, Yuki. I hope you enjoy your time here. Welcome to the menagerie. Don't snort coke. Yes, it will not make it better. Probably. I've never done coke before. I wouldn't know. Alexa, does snorting coke help sinus infections? Alexa doesn't know. Girl, you ain't no party girl. Am I the only one surprised that Alexa wasn't a party girl? All right, we're Googling this. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. I don't want to ask AI. Why would I look up ChatGPT? I need to find a friend. Give me a second, chat. We need friends. Chat, I don't have friends. Grok. I'm doing good. I think I'm doing good. Carmia, have you ever done coke? It doesn't. La luna. Good to know. I've also not done coke. I've been told explicitly not to do coke. They're like, shrooms, go for it. Ecstasy, like in small dosage, LSD, that's fine. Coke? No. Meth? Definitely not. Heroin? Do you hate yourself? So that's my list of things I'd hypothetically take. I wouldn't take X, actually. I feel like it'd probably make my heart stop, and I would pass away. I'd join the drown population. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've heard it's like Adderall, but 100 times higher. Moving on. But I like this conversation, and I'm bored. Okay. How? Oh, that's awful, Lynx. I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah. No, don't get involved in coke, chat. Just be careful. Take care of yourselves. Anything that you do... Huh? What? What's CAI? No, we're talking about doing drugs. Anyway, so today we're going to be playing a horror game. We've been playing it for a little while now. Who is talking with AI? Me? Oh, I know what you're talking about, Neeks. We're good. Do you know what's funny? I've had somebody make an AI of me. Luckily, it wasn't one of those lewd sites because I know somebody who does have like their AI put on the lewd site. But yeah, somebody threw me on one of those sites, and there is a Gene AI out there somewhere. It wasn't well made, apparently, so don't go looking for it. Also, you know, as long as you're just being friendly, I don't mind flirting here. But like, you know, if you're that desperate for company, may I suggest, you know, why'd you find it that easily? I need to stop mentioning things. I once mentioned the name of a band I was in high school, and somebody found my address that I used to live at because they could find the band that I was in high school. I'm never mentioning things again. They did apologize for it years later, so, you know, it's what it is. Which is funny. Actually, no, it's kind of weirder to have somebody go like, hey, Gene, I'm sorry that, I kind of like went on one of those sites and backtracked you and found your old address and phone number. And I'm like, oh, well, both of those things have changed since then, but also this was months ago. Why are you apologizing now for this? You could have just never told me and I wouldn't have cared. Like, are you just like flexing that you found me and also it was the wrong address? But hey, congrats. Oh, and it used to be worse. It used to be worse, chat. Oh. You know, back in the day when I was a flesh tuber, I would actively tell people my address. Nothing ever happened, which was disappointing. I was so small and tiny that I could point out my address and still nothing would happen. I gave out my phone number and only got called twice. Because I was desperate for fame and attention, and I thought that maybe something would happen. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Cut me out. What's going on? Are you doing okay? Ow. One sec. Oh, now they message me. I have not doxed myself. I've talked about it. I'm not doxing myself. Why are nostrils pain? Because they are. They're just awful. But yes. I'm a grown man, and other people have done these things. Okay, horror games. We're gonna do some horror games today. We're going to be playing... Also, anything that I've mentioned so far is legal where I'm at. Which I think is interesting. Did you know shrooms are legal in my state? Why? I take care of myself, don't you worry.
Your mod is carrying to mod you. Absolute goober.
Yes. What was the game we were playing yesterday? A boxing class. Boku, you could probably beat me up, couldn't you? I believe it. I support Boku beating me up, chat. We already beat the Spider Lady. Spider Lady's gone. No worries there. Yes, it is. All right. Paranormal Hong Kong. Amazing. Spam rice, spam musubi, horror. Done. All right, we ready, chat? Are you ready for the horror games? Everybody in the zone for horror. Like, I don't want to like shock anybody when we go swamp over there. Okay? Rude, Neeks. What do you? I am a good boy. I'm the goodest boy. Woof. It's legal in a lot of places, Amdis. Not this time. It was kind of boring to do it for this game. I might do it for a different game. Or I need to get one of the ones that react more to the actual loud noises. Stinky chat. Should you be worried? We're just gonna play more Paranormal Hong Kong. What'd you be worried about? What are we getting worried about? Don't tag what in my title next time. Shock collar? I mean, these aren't, like, painful. Yeah, it's self-harm. It's not self-harm. What's up? What's up? Vanya, what are you talking about? Just DM me, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Anyways, game. Enjoy your eeps. Enjoy your eeps. Oh! Heck! That worked. That worked so well. I wasn't expecting to work that well. Okay. What game capture are we using? Oh, we're even using the right what the heck? Yeah, no, everything worked. Conveniently. I'm amazed. Oh, also, I'm gonna try something. We're gonna do this. That should do. Okay, we ready? I looked away for a second and chat's talking about stuff. All right. Gelatin is often made of bones. I think gelatin... wait, doesn't gelatin have to be made out of bones for it to be gelatin? I messed up. Chad, did you know I'm made out of bones? Chad, did you know that you could make gelatin out of me? Oh, yeah, no, but vegan virgins are made of, like, pectin. It's not really gelatin. Vegetable pectin. Mm-hmm. I mean, hey. If you want to make jelly out of me, do it. Okay, what are we doing? So we escaped the lady. Oh, wait. D-O-G. Dog. Where's the dog? Insulin syringe. Cool, cool, cool. Mom will take me to the Ferris wheel when Sister's back. She promised. Oh. There's something about this game where like it just does things that throw me off. I'm too tender to be made into stew. Why? No.
We are all skeleton mechs wrapped in meat armor piloted by jellyfish.
Ferris wheel time. I am the skeleton mech. I'm a skeleton mech, chat. You don't know me. I am confused already. Help me, chat. Explain to me. Mathematics. Oh, hello, my lovely voidlings. The squeak hurts you? Do you want me to turn down the volume? Okay, I can turn it down a little bit.
This game got nothing on me, man. The real horror is the real Hong Kong. Because I'm there. Run.
I love that. Love that. Okay, wait. Okay, so the Ferris wheel is here. Huh? The Ferris wheel is here. Turn it down a little bit more.
Mathematics is the systematic study of numbers, quantities, shapes, and patterns involving logic and its applications to the real world. It is a
That is terrifying. I think you can only do 150 characters, chat. Just like, it's a little bit more than old school Twitter. So if you can't make a banger tweet out of it, it ain't gonna work. What is going on? Oh. Excuse me? Why is okay. Chat.
Chat. Job application. Job application.
Wow. I'm gonna turn that up a little bit. Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gonna follow
Math
my
is nice as
rainbow.
Spice Trust. Ah!
What? What was that? Take my hand and rescue me. Follow me, set me free. Oh. And we will escape from the city.
No, not a job application. Ah! The horror.
Yeah, it's a job application. Job. It's true. Chat, get employed, you nerds. I think I got off on the wrong floor.
Boo taxes, boo rent, boo electric bills.
I think I paid my electric bill. I probably paid my electric bill. As the power goes out. I think I had enough money. Yeah, I should be fine. Huh? Nah, it's fine. What's the worst that can happen? What is going on here? Am I crazy? I feel like there's something I'm very obviously missing. Oh, I'm not jumping. Crazy like a fox. Oh, wait a second. Child drawing. J-U-M-P. Okay. Oh, okay, I got this. Children are pretty scary. You know, the one thing scarier. Collecting dolls right now, apparently. A child. No. Oh, wait. Okay. So I have to... We go up and then we go down? No. Okay. You have a haunted doll? I believe that. And there's this creepy doll that always follows you. Ain't got a ruin now that's always open. Boku hates your doll? What's wrong with your doll? Okay. Thank you for following. I need some friends. I feel that. Hello, I need some friends. Thank you for following. Good luck. Annabeth. Nice. Y'all get what I'm doing right now, right? Okay, I think... Yeah. Oh. Okay, so there's these glowing drawings. Okay. And we need to find... I guess there's dolls underneath them? And so I need to figure out how to get there. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Okay, so I have the one. Yeah. And there's another rail there that I need to get on somehow. I don't know where it goes. Okay, it goes down there. Oh, wait. It goes... Oh, man. I figured it out. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay. If I'd figured it out before, it wouldn't be so annoying. Also, if she could run a little faster. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, headpads. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I wish I could drop to the railing below, but I know the game would be like, no, 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 that's not what a reasonable person would do. I'm not a reasonable person. Let me do stupid things. Never mind, I will never be happy again. I know, right? A reasonable person wouldn't throw themselves off the railing. I'm sorry. Oops, good luck. I do not. No swearing. Swearing's bad for you. Just kidding. You can swear all you want. I really don't care. Oh, come on. Where's the other one? Okay, so that's that one. Am I crazy? No, stop agreeing. Stop agreeing with me. Stop saying yes every time I say, am I crazy? Thank you. Don't question Crucy. Wow. 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 Oh, no, you don't I'm not putting you in the cage. You don't deserve the cage anymore. You're too often too late. No cage for you. You know what? I'll put Crucy exclusively in the cage. Okay, maybe it's this one. Yukiko. Yukiko Cooks? Is that a series? That sounds cool. Hey, thank you for the check-in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Addy, you have an MRI to go to. Bye-bye. Okay. Where's the railing I'm missing? It's the one I'm on right now. There's no railing on this level. Somehow I have to get there. Oh, no way. No way. I'm sorry this didn't come to my brain right away, chat. I do apologize. That's okay. that scared the crap out of me. Oh, I didn't see it, Gibbets. I'm sorry. Train. Gimme, 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 gimme. Cool. I'm proud of you for having a filter nap time. Mwah. Big McThankies from McSpankies. Maybe. Would not be far-fetched. Xiong had suitors who was a rich person in the village. Rich guy wanted to marry her as a second wife. Xiong's master afraid the rich person would get mad, therefore... Oh, interesting. So, rich dude wanted to marry her as his second wife. She said she wasn't gonna do it, and the guy never came back afterwards. And then she's sad now. Goofy. Your OG device. Ooh. OG device. Sounds interesting. Okay, I kind of want to see Naptime being a menace. Naptime, what kind of menace are you? How dare you, B-Lane Psycho? Shame. Shame, shame, shame. What kind of menace are you? I need to know. Did Aunt take sister to the Ferris wheel? I want to go too. I'm sad. That's not a lamb. Oh, that's a lamb. Okay. Donut. No, Vanya, no hole. Naptime does not have permission to go crazy. I refuse. It does. Shun the sheep. Go stupid, go crazy. This is gonna be... Oh, give me tea, 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 give me tea. I want tea, I want tea. Give me tea. Give me tea, give me tea. So y'all know Drake? Yes, I know of Drake. What about Drake? Brenham? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. He has his place out in Brenham. Got it. Understood. Vibes. Yeah, well, you know, that's where all my exes live. All my exes live in Texas. Okay, okay. As one would, as one would. Don't tell me I'm lost. What floor was she on? Okay. I was at the top, wasn't I? Oh, I didn't know that. That's very cool. He feels it. He gives off the vibes. Aha! Found it. Gosh, she walks so slow. Okay, I'm back here. What are we doing with these? Mommy said I'm cured. I can eat as much chocolate as I want. She'll take me to Wonderland when she gets back. You're kidding. You're kidding. What? She just had... She killed her daughter. She filled the fridge with candy so that her daughter would die. Chat, I am more dog boy than I am as a streamer. I bum. Oh, well, this isn't good. Bum, bum, bum. She didn't even poison the chocolate. She made her child eat chocolate when she has diabetes. So she just made her go into insulin shock and die. That's insane. Oh, it's one of these, isn't it? There are many eyes on sister. Follow Kiki to room 111. Okay. Kiki. A situation? That's crazy. I believe it. Vanya speaks nothing but lies. Thank you for the check-in. Vanya is big lies. So many lies. Chat, give me attention right now. Give me all your attention. I need to feel like I matter. Thank you. What's up, I spawned? Yay! That's all that matters. Yay! Alright, we're good. My attention has been satisfied. Stink. My attention is no longer satisfied. Key. Key. I did add Guide the Raid. Okay, what if we do something dumb like this? Thank you. Perfect. All better. Okay, wait. Horse is the key. Ad break. Ad break? Oh no. Do we want to take a little breaky break? What are we feeling? We can take it. I mean, there's nothing important happening right now. It's just puzzles. Take a little break? Okay, fine. We'll do word game for y'all. Since everybody likes the word game so much. What do you think, Chad? Do you think you won? Just kidding. Proud of you, chat. Proud of you, proud of you, proud of you, proud of you, proud of you. All right. I figured it out. There's a picture on the wall here that we were completely missing. Oh, we're gonna stop the music. There's a picture on the wall over here that was completely missing, okay? That was what my issue was. Kind of hard to see it, though, because, like, you need to have the light on. But so there's... These two are kissing. This one is upside down. Okay, so it's going to take a little while for me to get right. Okay. So I think that one's fine. That one... Okay, the one right next to it should be... facing away. Got it. That one's facing that way. This one needs to be facing this way. This one needs to be kissing. They're kissing. Oh, wait. Sorry, those two are kissing. I messed up, chat. I messed up. Hi, Zyla. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, Zyla Solis. Okay, those two are kissing. This one is facing away. Because he doesn't like to look at them kissing. This one is that way. See, he wants to kiss, but he's upside down, so he doesn't know how to kiss. That one's just looking away, being like, I don't want to be involved in anything. So it should be not this one, but this one wants to not be involved. Sloppy Styles kissing, and they were both boys. And then that one is just looking. He's like, I want to get on. I want to get on it. Ah. Yay. Wait, let me go. Woo. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh, headpad's not work? I'll check it out later. I'll make sure you get refunded later. Ding. Oh, thank you. One stretch. Two stretch. I'm staying hydrated. Oh! I mean, you okay? That happened. Ooh, do, 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 do. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, we did it. Yeah. 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 Yeah, boy. I didn't prepare for that one. I will do it. I will do it, chat. I will do my longest yeah boy ever. Don't you tempt me. Oh, there it is. Car keys? I hardly know her. See, that's not temptation. Open the door. Oh no. That's not right. That's not right at all. Oh! Oh. I would have died there, chat. I would have died there. IRL, I would have died. You broke your desk? You broke your... Ah. And mulatas. Ooh. Boyfriend's dad. Tell your boyfriend's dad that, ask me if he's single. Ask your boyfriend's dad if he's single. Dang. Ask him if he wants to be. But dads make good food and I want good food. Plus they have money. Okay, fine. Ask if his mom is single. Jeez. Fine. Just date the moms instead. Oh god. Every VTuber goes after moms. I'm going after dads. It's an untapped market, okay? Yeah, but you're straight. Crucy, you're straight. It's not gonna work. Wait. Where am I going? Stacy's mom has got it going on, and her dad is also pretty decent looking. Yeah, exactly. While you're out at TwitchCon, I'm at home tapping your dad. Or your mom. I'll tap them both. I forgot I have itty bitty baby legs, chat. I'm sorry. Fine. I won't date chat's parents, okay? Or your parents-in-laws. Menage a trois. You get a tapping. Y'all, they call me the ball peen hammer because all I do is tap. Try dating. On my way. I did finish that sentence. Should be lifting them cars. Girl, can you not? You know what? No. Majuki forever. That's right, girl. You live there now. Welcome to your shoddy programming, sweetie. This is where you live. This is what we'll do forever. Oh, sweet. Yo, somebody throw down a pallet or something. I mean, it's an indie game. Fine, come on, let's get this over with. All right. I mean, yeah, totally. Watch out for me. Watch out, break myself. Why she can't? Why she? Because she's a lady, and all ladies be a little. At least in some regard, every lady is a little. Ah, this is so annoying. I hate this. I hate this. This is no longer fun. But I have to finish the game or else people are gonna be like, Gene, why didn't you beat the game? What's the bad news? What's the bad news? You hate this part too? Have you played this? Is there a specific car I'm trying to? Probably that one, isn't it? When isn't it? Wait. You think it's the purple one? You in a good mood? I'm glad you're in a good mood. Mwah. Kisses. Okay, it's gotta be one of these, right? I think it's this one. Really, Pop Rock? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm going insane. Did I not grab the key? I grabbed the key, right? Like I just have the key. What am I doing wrong? You met Sparkly Thong today? Good name, solid choice, solid choice. Did it? Well, I hope it was a fun experience. Yeah. Come on, wife of Satan. Hello, wife of Satan. Hey, Angel Metal, how you doing? Okay. This is so dumb. What? Across the parking lot? I did. I went all the way across the parking lot. And wife of Satan, come on down. Oh, I guess I can come back here to hide if I need to. Okay, so we're gonna killing me softly. One. How'd they get me? This is your normal height, ain't it? I knew it. Alright, we're going all the way across. Now back to more 80s to 90s radio barely anyone remembers. Congratulations, you've won a brand new car. That's gotta be her car, right? This makes the most sense. 93.7 The River. Oh, come on. If there's more than one of those boxes. Come here. Go, they come and go. Oh, there's so many of these. Oh, why? Gene, we think you're having too easy of a time of making it, so we just decided to make it significantly harder for you. You can suck it. Please get on your knees and suck. You're so young, chameleon. Do you want to not come over here? What am I doing? Why are we turning these off? The last one's at the beginning of the oh, come on. You know the worst part is? This would have been so easy going the other direction. They call me Lollipop the way I suck at games. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go again. Here we go again. You found yourself a friend and knows you well. So I assume... Wait, is it not... Is that not one? Are you kidding me? Ah! Come get me. Eat me. Eat me. So glad. They call me Big Tasty, the way I be tasting. Big. They call me Loser. It's my name in high school. Thank you. Thank you, Bogu. Glad somebody appreciates my genius. Not that I'm a dog or anything, but you know. They call me Loser the way I be. What? What? No, hey, don't. My name was Gene. Still is. Get wrecked, nerds.
This Big D is rated E for everyone.
That's not a good thing. No. Okay. Now what? Now what? Now what? Why did I do any of this? What was the point of this? I'm halfway tempted just to go lay underneath one of those cars. Why are we still here? Just to suffer. Colonel, why are we still here? Just to suffer. Colonel, I keep trying to sneak around, but the clamp of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
That woman
Eat
needs
my
some mint.
shorts.
I can smell her from here.
She got me. What is the point? Thank you for the lurk. I'm about to crash out. I'm about to crash out. I don't... No. No. Oh, thank you. See, there's only 2 red lights. There's only 2 red lights. So I'm missing something. Yeah, and her keeping her hands off me is called my death. I prefer no death, thank you. 1, done. Nothing underneath the car. I don't even know which car hers is. She's trying to be flirty. She's really bad at this. She's very bad at being flirty. I was gonna assume it's that car because it's the most goofy looking. Okay. You should buy just lifting. Chat, you know what? That's fair. If you were to lift cars, if you were to lift things at me, I might fall in love with you if you could lift a car. I'm sorry, chat. That's what it takes. You have to be able to lift a car for me to fall in love. Longest time ago in a town called Pickerton. Lived you knew just what to do. Can't believe this stupid purple car. Come on, let it be the stupid purple car. Come on. What am I not doing? What's your power level like, Carmia? What's your power level like? Oh, because I sang Tenacious D the other day during stream. I don't know. I'm supposed to, like, it said go across the parking lot to her car. Okay, I have a feeling that it's something a lot more dumb than I'm realizing. Like, give me a second. Yeah, I think it's gonna be something like it's gonna unlock this exit, isn't it? The entire point was probably pointing for this exit. Oh, you're kidding. Because I never tested this, I didn't... Because I never tested the button, I didn't realize... Oh, shoot. What the heck did... Why? No, game, don't do this to me. Okay. It's gonna be something dumb. What? Huh? Okay, no. The compass is supposed to... I understand what's happening now. The compass is supposed to point to where she's at. So the game forgot its own rules. What? Oh. Okay, I figured it out. The game did not forget its own rules. There we go. Okay. Hit the ghost. Heck yeah! Oh, there she is. Oh, great. Oh, this is gonna be driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bump is shaped like a deer. Knee you high, now how about you die? I drive 100 miles an hour. I've entered the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, I want to explain what's happening here, chat. She's going to randomly spawn somewhere in this garage. The controls are some of the worst tank kind of controls that are there. And so I have to hope that I get lucky and find her at some place I can hit quick enough. There she is. And there we go. No. Doesn't count because wait, did it count? Nope, didn't count. Didn't count because apparently she's too strong to be rolled against. This is so stupid. This is old school gaming. This reminds me of the Sega Genesis. And I much people want to be like, oh my god, old gaming was so peak. Old gaming was so amazing. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was so badly made, a lot of it, but that's all we knew how to do at the time. Yeah.
Pull some fast and furious moves.
Man, I am trying. Oh, and she's gone. Oh, she's all the way back on the other side again. Some games were peak back in the day, but some of the games people play were just awful. No, it doesn't matter if you keep moving. It is set on a time limit. So if you bypass a certain amount of time, it doesn't matter. So if you can't find her fast enough... There she is. Or if it's at an angle. There we go. Hello, Ghost Siren. There we go. Hi. Good to see you as well. I'm doing better now that I've beaten this. Head pats, thank you for that. Did the head pats work? I'm sorry if they did not work. This is a horror game, yes. Okay, cool. Thank yous for head packs. Paranormal Hong Kong. So I'm understanding what happened, right? So girl kills her daughter by making her eat chocolate because, you know, she has insulin. She needs, like, insulin. Then she throws herself to join the trout population. Oh, that sounds good. So, because the daughter was there, the daughter chilled her out? Yeah. Yes, honeydew, we're gonna put you in tea and drink you. No, Boki, no, no, you don't want to join the trout population. You don't want to join the trout population. No. Different kind of trout. You can go to the beach and be a mermaid. Wait. Am I in the wrong area now? Okay. I don't know what... I've wasted time walking super slow. I'm sorry, chat. Might be. Galveston. You ought to bring out tea. It's true. Let's go to the beach. Let's go get away. Say what they're gonna say. They say what they're gonna say. Dunk me in tea like a biscuit? You got it. Done weirder things for dumber reasons. And then we left the garage and went gone forever. And we escaped the garage and we lived happily ever after. And we escaped... Oh! We escaped the garage and lived happily ever after. There's more garage. Sorry, garage. Am I lost? Wait, what's going on? I'm... I feel like the game was like, clearly he's gonna go forward and go through those doors. He's not gonna go anywhere else. Where else would he go? Meanwhile, me. Do I go back the way I came? Hey, look, the buttons work. That must be... Oh. Oh, I can't open it from here. Lovely little voidlings. I apologize for being so dumb. Apparently, a shark tried to hit on you. Brought back an orange cat. Maybe that way? Can we please ask Curtis to hurry up a little bit? Like, come on. Double time. Come on. Girl who is currently singing, can you push me instead? I'm going insane. This is my run speed. This is my walk speed. This is my run speed. Walk, run, walk, run. Oh, what am I missing? Oh, Bunko, you're an orange cat. That's cute. I wonder if I broke the game. Could somebody call Vanya? Oh, Vanya probably sleeping. It's so slow. Like, this was fine once. But this many times? If this elevator, if I just had to like look at this elevator, I'm gonna be upset. Oh, Vanya. What is it doing? Why can't it? Why won't it do anything? What? Vanya, please help me. Please help me, Vanya. Please help me. What am I doing? I can't leave. I can't leave. I can't leave. Can't open it from here. Is that door supposed? Is that elevator supposed to work? No! No! I ran her over again. I ran her over, and then it gave me like an end sequence, and it wouldn't let me leave. It won't let me leave the map. There she is. Yeah, I walked away from the elevator and I hit a bunch of buttons. Okay. Okay, so what am I supposed to do here? Oh. Follow Kathy didn't appear last time. Follow Kathy did not appear last time. Oh, so dumb. Or it did, and I just got in the wrong elevator, chat, and I never tried this elevator. I might not have ever tried this elevator, but, you know, you can't blame me for that. That's totally that's, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Everybody's like that. Me, you. None of us would have tried the elevator. Right? I'm so glad. I'm so glad. We did it. Yo, I beat that carpet on the second try. I mean, like on the first try with the second life. Oh. The heck is this? Interesting. Hi, Kathy. How you been? You doing okay? Hi. Ah, my eyes. What?
你醒咗啦，真係辛苦晒你啦。
喂喂！
病痛嘅感覺真係太好啦。
鬼面姐，呢度係邊度啊？嘉慧呢？我哋快啲搵埋嘉慧，一齊離開呢個爛鬼地方啦！
離開？我點解要離開啊？呢度簡直就係天堂。阿樂，你醒唔醒起自己有幾耐冇食過飯，幾耐冇瞓過覺啊？只要摸清規律就可以行走自如，仲可以擺脫時間嘅束縛。咁正嘅地方，我又點捨得走啊？不過講返轉頭，你都有好大嘅。
Her dress is kind of cool.
如果冇你喺度，呢個空間就唔會連接得咁妥當、咁穩定。呢段時間我都搜集咗唔少數據。
I like her
我都
dress.
等唔切，而家就想去欣賞下。你探頭下先啦，係咁先啦。
Well, chat, we did it. We did it, chat. We beat the game. You can't be like, Gene, I can't believe you didn't finish the game. Because I finished the game. I'm that cool, chat. Let me see if I have therapy. When's my last therapy appointment? It should be today, I think.
Someone should draw Gene in one of those dresses.
Actually, kind of be cool. Right there. Okay, wait. So I had one. Bloop. Okay, so I should have therapy today. I thought to make sure I have therapy today. Huh? Oh, shoot, what's going on? Oh. Oh, cool. There's gonna be another one. Sweet. Sweet, 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 sweet. Okay, yes, I will have therapy today. Cheat. I should have therapy today, unless I don't. But I should. Usually they send me a therapy appointment thing by now, don't they? Anyways, well, that means that I am probably going to have to end here, chat. It was a lot of fun streaming with all of you. I don't know. I'll have to check. Today is Tuesday, right? Yeah. Oh, yep, there. I found it. Okay, I don't know where this appointment was located at, but it was hidden somewhere amongst the ruffles and the somewheres. So yes, I do have a therapy appointment. Oh, okay. In 1 hour. Thank you for hanging out. But yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna be going words. Hello, I'm gonna be doing therapy soon, so I am gonna have to leave, and I can't really hang out much more. We had some really good timing with this game, honestly. Is there any sort of stuff that you all are wanting to see today? Any sort of game or vibe that you're wanting to match? Oh.
Oh, wait for me, bro.
You know, we could raid back. What's up, Vana? You said yes. What's the vibe that you want? Mm-hmm. But I said we could raid into the Catboy. Oh, no. Vanya, what's the vibe you want? Don't say, okay, never mind. I didn't see your thing. What's the vibe you want? Come on, tell me. 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 What Crucy said? What did Crucy say? Strippers? We can't raid strippers. Okay, we're gonna go raid the Catboy. Y'all be cute. Y'all be sweet. Y'all be incredible. And we're gonna say, here's the raid message. You ready? I think it's how you spell attention, right? I'm sorry. What other redeems are there? Sniffer? And here is the raid message chat. It's going to be here to steal your attention. Copy it. Paste it. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2. Mwah. See you all tomorrow morning.